Welcome back for another Rusty production. Today we're going to be practicing making a decorative hook. That's right, welcome back. It's 2018 and moving into the new year, I've decided, not as a New Year's resolution, but it's time to start taking things a little bit more seriously. So what I've done for the last 3 months is learn the absolute basics of blacksmithing, and now I'm going to try and actually improve my skills and try and get a little bit better. So I'm going to start doing things on purpose rather than by accident. I'm going to try and make them by design. So today what we're going to do is we're going to practice a couple of skills. I'm going to be practicing reshaping some flat stock into square stock, turning that into round stock, tapering that out, bending the metal, giving it a little twist, and a couple of other techniques, including punching along the way. And at the end of that, what we're going to get, hopefully, is a decorative hook that I can use for the wall. I've been mucking around with doing a few things, and I'll quickly show you those right now.
So I'll show you this one. This is a hook that I certainly didn't make by design, but I decided I was going to practice a few techniques with this. So I'll just take that off there so you can see it. There's 3 little scrolled pieces that are my hooks, and anybody who knows anything about blacksmithing knows that I've got a few different techniques in here. This was some flat stock, which I'll show you in a moment, and I split the stock down the center and then reshaped it out into round, twisted it up and gave it a little twist, punched through here, and that was a nice clean punch, and that screw went perfectly into there, and then finished it off by backing off the long piece and tapering it back, cutting it off, and then finishing it off like so. So, you know, it's not amazing, but I like it, but it's not by design. This is just practicing a few little techniques to see what I got. Now today, I'm going to be doing things by design. So I will show you the design on paper first, and then we can go from there. So here's our blank paper. We've got this 5 by 20 mil flat stock, just a mild steel that I'm going to be using. Not necessarily the best steel for what I'm about to do, but the point of it is actually to use some of this rubber steel and knock it into the shape I want. So it's the whole idea of moving metal. So here's our blank page. Now let's create the design that I'm going to do. It's going to go something along the lines of this. So let's say that we've got our hook like that. It'll curl around a little. It'll come up and we'll twist. Let's say we'll twist it through something like that. And then it'll go up a little bit further, come out, flatten out, and then we will punch 2 holes through here just to get it nice and secure on the wall. So ideally that's our rough design. Clearly I'm not going for like exact measurements or anything like that, but I'm trying to make it, it's actually probably about the size that I want to make it too. So while this is probably going to be a little bit smaller, this flat area, and it's going to be a little bit thinner in the taper. It's going to be a hook around about this size, so about the size of my hand. So there's a couple of little techniques there. One is obviously the punching. I'm going to be doing that rather than drilling. The other is moving this flat stock into square stock and then reflattening it out, rounding it out through here and then tapering, and then bending the metal round to the actual scroll that I want. And finally, making sure that I keep it square through the center here so that I actually can twist the metal and get that effect. So a few little techniques, that's what I'm practicing, and let's get the fire going and get started. Now, anyone who hasn't seen my brake drum forge before, you can check out the link to the video where I made it. I use charcoal to get it going, and just a single piece of paper usually does the trick. And I use coke to really get it firing up, which you'll see in a moment. Alright, so in the next heat, I'm going to actually twist it through here
So I've just got to localise the heat that I get in there. I don't have a blowtorch or anything at this point, so I'm just going to have to work with what I've got, which is the forge. I'll try and get the heat to localise in that space so that it doesn't come up here. If I have trouble with that, I'll just cool it down in the water. So for this one, I'm going to use this handy little tool I use specifically for actually twisting the metal. It locks on the metal and then you twist it all the way around, which you'll see in just a moment. Pretty good, that's about the spot I want. Like that. Don't let it get too cold. Should be it. There's our twist. Next job is to round it out. Probably should have actually tapered that out before rounding it, but well, we will just work it out in the next heat anyway. You can see I'm using the fullering edge of this anvil, or this mock anvil, to stretch out the metal. It does a much faster job, but it's a much more messy job. Fairly easy to clean up though. So now I'm going to just taper this end part here. It's going to go a little bit longer, but we're going to get it pointy. So I'm just going to get this end nice and hot so it doesn't fish mouth at the end, which does tend to happen with mine. And then we can clean it up a little and get it twisted. Alright, that's the sort of pencil shape that I want. Hopefully you can see that. Now we're just going to heat this up here. Just give it a little finish on this end, then bend it round and give it a little twist in the end. Cool. Right, so I'm going to heat up this tip now, and I will bend that out, but I'll actually use a little set of, I've forgotten what they're called, but they're like little pincing pliers. Pretty happy with the way they're looking. Alright, so here we are, we'll give this a little bit of a twist. Let's do that. Just give it a little bit of a heat and twist it around a little bit neater. The last little bit there. Twist that round. There we go. I think that's probably looking about right. Now just use the hammer and I'll get it back there. Just heat up this part through there and we'll bring it back round again. Beautiful. Alright, so we're not quite finished yet. We've done this part, we've done the twist. Now we've got to flatten out this area here and actually punch 2 holes through it, which is a challenge in itself for me. So I'll get the big hammer out, flatten that area right out, get it all hot,
The other thing too is when I'm using my forge, it's only about this long. So it was actually helpful for me to put that scroll work in there early, so it actually reduces the amount of space, so I can get this part on the heat a little easier. So I'll heat that up and we'll come back. Thought I'd just quickly show you this. You can see the hook up that end there, and I'm trying to get the localized heat around here. And you can see with this much room, there's not a lot of space for me to move the heat around, and especially have the metal inside it. So I can really only make little things at this point until I go redesigning this forge. But it's working. It's maybe just a little bit slower work than it would be normally, but you can see that that's heating up, and leave it a little bit longer and we'll be right to go. That'll do for now. Probably just going to hot cut the end off that anyway, and then maybe clean it up a little after. But now I've got to put the punch holes through here, so what I'll do is I'll just score them right now. I'll get my punch. I will line this thing up. Okay, I've got one there. That's good. And the second one up there. Line it up. It's about right to me. The other side. Round punch. Probably gonna have to give it a second heat, I'd say. We'll just start it a little bit. Alright, good. Yeah, I'm not great with the punching yet, but I'll give it a second heat and we'll get through there on that the next go round. So I've got this little tool I'm going to swing into place in a minute, but I'll just start by going onto the anvil. And one on the back for good measure. Come on, get on there. Alright, so now if I bring this tool into play, I should be able to punch it right through as it cools down. Just about there. And we're through. A little bit of a daggy bit you can see there on the back, but I'll clean that off. We'll get the other hole started. Righto. We're through with both of those. I'll just clean them up and we'll be right to trim off the end. Okay, so I've got this little drift which I'm going to use just to finish off the holes. I'm going to hold on to it properly.
of rounding going on where I put the holes through, and I don't currently have a horn on my anvil, as most of you would know, but I do have a horn over here that I'll just put into the vise for the moment. Trying to make a mess at the same time. Don't have anything great to do the hot cutting with, so I'm just using this chisel in the vise. I can use it on the anvil with one hand, but just holding everything together is a little bit tricky. And because I don't have a hole in the anvil that I can actually put a tool in, this is what I'm currently using. I know it takes away a lot of the efficiency of the hammer blow, but it does get through the metal. It just takes a little bit longer. There it goes. Oh, she's hot. Alright, certainly not the cleanest in the world, and I've got to clean that up. But it is off. What I'll do is I'll get the tongs and I'll just finish that and try and make a little bit of a spade out of the end there without actually damaging the hole too much. Clean it up and we'll be finished. Get the final scale off it. Monster of a brush. So as it's cooling down, just going to get a little bit of linseed oil on it just to finish it off. Yeah, that's smoking a bit. Always look a mess at the end of these things. Oil. Just hold it on that end. Okay, that in. It's just an old rag with the linseed oil on it, so just making sure that I get a good coating. One of the things I can do is I can bake it on there if I like, but I'm probably going to be using it downstairs, so I'll just test how long it stays rust free, just with giving it this first single coat, because baking it on really, it gives it like a complete finish at the end, which I'm really not looking for in this. I want it to stay sort of blacksmithy, if that's a thing. All right, come back when it's cooled down and show you the final product, but that's just about it. Thank you. Okay, so here it is. There's the final piece. It's certainly not as clean as I would like. There's a few little marks on things in the wrong places, and but all in all, it's got the effect that I wanted. The difference between this and the picture I drew originally, I guess, is that in the original picture, it's much more squat. So the hook was larger, and this piece at the top was a little larger. But all in all, I'm happy with the result. This is probably my first piece by design, and by design, I'm not talking about engineering. I didn't make plans. I didn't get measurements or anything like that, but I actually drew something and executed and had something that's pretty much in the in this vicinity of where I wanted it to be. So if you're enjoying watching the journeys of an amateur blacksmith, aka me, Rusty Pearson, then please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thanks very much, and like the video, comment on what I've done, whether you liked it, whether you think I could improve on it. Tips and tricks that I can use are always welcome. If you are subscribing, hit that notification button. That'll actually let you know when I put a new video up. And until next time, thank you so much for watching.